You were named campaign manager August 17th, the same day that Steve Bannon was named campaign CEO. It seemed as though, from the outside, you and Steve Bannon were able to convince Donald Trump to be more disciplined in a way that previous campaign managers had not convinced him to do, had not succeeded in getting through to him. Please stay on message, please stick with your teleprompter. Not that he only stuck with his teleprompter, but the kind of, one might call them self-inflicted wounds, you called them, your campaign calls them that with the Clinton campaign, but some of the gaffes, some of the more controversial statements he made, most of them took place disproportionately before you and Steve Bannon took over. And I'm wondering, what did you and Steve Bannon say to him to convince him, we will take over, but you really need to listen to us in terms of staying more on message?
When we came on board, there were a couple of things. I said, I don't really divulge private conversations, but I feel confident in telling you that I said to Mr. Trump, you know, you're running against one of the most joyless presidential candidates in history, it seemed to me. So why don't we not be that way as a campaign? Why don't we find a way to be the happy warrior again? He loved doing the rallies. He loved connecting with people that way. So you have to know who your candidate is, and there is no substitute for a quality, compelling candidate, and work with his or her gifts. And I think in the case of Donald Trump, he gets his oxygen from being out there with the people, being with the voters.
Look, one thing I take issue with, I think what did happen, and we discussed this early on, at the very end of the race, there were probably more undecideds than in a lot of races before. And we do think because the director of the FBI sent 2 letters in what was an unprecedented intervention in the election, total breach of protocol. Yes, I think a lot of those undecideds broke against us, but I don't think that was an inherent problem. And in fact, I would argue without those letters, we would have won those, and that's why we would have won the election. You know, the other thing I'd say, I mean, Kellyanne said it was a joyless campaign. I contest that. You know, we had a lot of fun on this campaign. I'm a joyful guy. Hillary's really joyful. We had a lot of fun on the campaign.